I interrupt today's regularly scheduled programming to bring you this. It's a major award. It must be from Italy. Fragile. I have wanted what's in this box for ages, and I finally won an auction on eBay for it, and it wasn't supposed to be here until July 7th. And it actually arrived yesterday. So yesterday was the 23rd of June, and I would have loved to have unboxed it yesterday, but I had a migraine, so I had to wait patiently. And now the time has come to open up the box. It's obviously labeled fragile, but I don't think that the shipper paid much attention to it. It's in pretty rough shape. The box is even broken open right here. So I'm really hopeful that whatever is inside, the secret thing that's inside, is in good condition. So today I'm going to do an unboxing video. It makes me feel a little bit like one of those young and hip influencers, you know, like,
unbox with me.
Let's take a look.
Fragile!
This came from England, from a seller on eBay who finds these old vintage sewing machines and cleans them up and services them and then sells them on eBay. So I got this for a really great deal, including shipping. It was about $230, which for, ouch, I just stabbed myself. Ow. Ah, 1 minute. Okay, as I was saying, it comes to me fully serviced from a seller in the UK, and it was about $230. That included shipping. And I just recently got quotes for servicing some other vintage machines, and just the servicing alone here in the US is $150. So basically I got the machine and I got it serviced for $230, which is awesome. So this is a Singer 15K, and it's from 1927, if I'm remembering all of my details from the auction correctly. Comes in its own case. A nifty little suitcase thing, which thank goodness it was in a case, because if it hadn't been, that box was pretty well shot. It probably would not have been good for this. Now, let's take a look at what is under the cover. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. I hear more plastic. Okay, here we have an instruction manual, which is really nice. I don't have to go hunting for it online. So that's super, because I've gotten some old machines in the past and you have to kind of go on a scavenger hunt to find all the pieces, parts, and instructions and things. So it's just a photocopy of the manual, which is awesome. Look at that. It's got a little table extension that comes down. There she is. There she is. And here is the crank. Okay, there we go. It's just in beautiful condition. It's got the original crank on it, which a lot of times, by the time you get to this age, these have been replaced. So they look okay and they function just fine, but they're not the original crank. So finding one that has the original at a price that was affordable to me was really wonderful. I'm gonna have to get a Band-Aid for my boo-boo on my finger. I really ought to get a package of Band-Aids for down here, and instead I'm just wrapping some tissue on and taping it, because I'm all the way downstairs and I don't want to go upstairs for a Band-Aid when I know it's going to stop bleeding in a couple of minutes. There she is. Isn't that beautiful? So, an old bottle, it's empty. An old plastic Singer sewing machine bottle. A little box of goodies. And the little lid that fits down there, I'll have to work on getting that to seat in there just properly. Oops. Let's see. Maybe it goes the other way? No, it sure wouldn't go the other way. Well, that's exactly it. It goes the opposite direction. This is a Singer 15K from January 12th, 1923. So we're getting really close to 100 years old. That's the great thing about Singers, is if they have a serial number on them, you can track to exactly when it was built. Y996054. So if I look at here, here's the range, and there's 15K, and there were 230,000 of them made, and this one dates to January 1923. I guess that's right. Yeah, quantity allotted. Anyway, that's very cool to be able to date a machine like that. And this has the hand crank on it, and you can tell by its age it's an original one. And as I suspected from my previous machine video, the original hand cranks with these spoke wheels, they are optimized for human efficiency. So on the hand crank that I bought, it's one crank per stitch. But this, as I crank it, you can see about 3 stitches per revolution. So that's 3 times as efficient as the one that I had. The person I bought this from completely serviced this machine and threaded it with some sturdy stitching thread and a red bobbin thread, and put some of this leather scrap through there to demonstrate that it can sew through leather. These machines actually can sew through a whole lot of stuff. They're very, very, very sturdy from what I understand. And so it's a real workhorse. The fact that it's completely operational is super exciting. There, let's see if we can look at how beautiful this plate is right here. I love these old machines. It's got all this beautiful floral scroll work on there. I had originally looked at another hand cranked machine the same day I was trying to buy this one, and it had prettier decals with like some of the colors, but you can see that these decals are in wonderful shape. Very nice. It's got this gold seal right here. There you can see the hand crank, and you can see this wonderful worn wooden handle. It's just fantastic, and I can't wait to play around with it. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful piece of history. Definitely not as flashy as some of them, but it's in excellent working condition, and that's about all you can ask for, you know? And the price was right, which is the other thing that matters to me, because as much as I love my hobby, I'm not about to spend, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars all the time to get antiques, but this was a nice treat for myself. I'm going to see if I can take it for a spin and sew some stuff. Here's my box of miscellaneous sewing machine accessories. I will put together a complete set using what's in this other box, making sure, of course, that they're the right feet. And I have some other bits and bobs of sewing machine pieces here, so I believe I have enough to fill in the gaps on this, or at least mostly fill in the gaps on this box that came with the machine. So I'm going to work on that now. I have these all labeled and numbered. I looked them all up because each Singer, official Singer part has a number on it. So when you see the number on there, you can look it up online and know exactly what it is, which is great. So in my set, I have a ruffler, an adjustable hemmer, a binding foot, a zipper foot, a small rolled hem foot, this thing, which I'm not entirely sure what it's for, but I think it's for like stitching in elastic or a binding or a ribbon or something, and this doohickey, which also I can't remember exactly what it's for, but I have one for every set, so I just know it belongs in there. I'll explore that later. And then I have the little screwdriver, and the big screwdriver. And I have a few bobbins that we know are the right size, plus I've got one in the machine. I have an extra felt piece. There's a couple of needle threaders, which is nice to have. And then a washer, which worries me just a little bit. I don't know where that came from, but it was in the box. So I'm going to keep it just to be sure. And then of course these, which I'm going to hang on to the needle packet so I know what needle it takes. These I'm throwing away. This I'm throwing away. And this, there's no oil in it, and I've got oil, lots and lots of oil, so I'm tossing that because it's not an antique container anyway. It's plastic. I finally got it threaded. I ended up pulling out the Singer 1591 manual because it's an original, and so the diagrams are much clearer than the photocopy diagrams here. So it's essentially the same machine. It's just that this is about 30 years older than the 1591 that I have, but the threading path and the bobbin mechanism are the same. So I did end up making a nice even stitch. Focus, focus. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and sew for you so you can hear how lovely this machine sounds. Just listen to this. It's so nice. Listen. Like butter, I tell ya. Like butter. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It's a good strong stitch. Just fine. So that's the story of my Singer 15K from 1923 that I just added to my sewing machine collection. Don't miss my other video that gives you a tour of my sewing machine collection. I actually have quite a few machines, and I really do like them all. They all serve a different purpose. If you like old machines, you'll love that video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing from this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I'll give you regular updates on the projects I'm working on. Up next, I'm going to finish my stays for 18th century costume, and then I need to make all of the other things that go along with it. Not just the outer dress, but the accessories as well. I need to make a cap, I need to make some petticoats, maybe an apron, so you don't want to miss any of those as I continue my journey in historical costuming and 18th century fashion. Thanks a lot for joining me. Have a great day.